Today we're going to be covering Reincarnated. It's another Isekai. Truck-kun, take me now, please. But yeah, we're talking about Reincarnated as a sword today. Yes, it's an Isekai, and yes, it does a ton of your typical Isekai tropes, and it kind of sounds like it's going to be one of those new Isekai with a really weird premise, like In Another World with my smartphone, but it does a really good job at separating itself from all of those Isekais, and also at least not doing every Isekai trope there is. And when I said Isekais with a weird premise, I meant the MC's a sword, kind of like how the title suggests it would be, but he's not just any sword, he's an intellectual sword. And he's not just any intellectual sword, he's an intellectual sword that can fly. So what else do intellectual swords that can fly that are teleported to another world do? They slay monsters. But you can only slay so many monsters until you start to feel lonely and he starts to wish that he could find a wielder that he can go on adventures with and live together and bond together, but who would just want some random sword? So he goes around killing monsters and obtaining every skill from every monster that he's ever killed, like some other reincarnated guy I know, but he becomes so strong that he ends up killing the 4 big monsters in the surrounding area, but lands in some anti-magic dirt and has to sit there until someone can find him because he can't fly away.
Many months later.
And this is like the first 85% of the first episode, and to be honest, I hated it. I didn't really want to continue watching, but I'm so glad I did, because one day a slave caravan's attacked by a 2-headed bear. This little slave girl named Fran finds and picks up the sword to defend herself, and he's able to telecommunicate with her, share his massive power and abilities with her, and they work together to defeat the bear. And this is where the story really starts to take a turn for the better in my eyes. They end up traveling and training together. She's picking up on all these new abilities super fast. She's kind of somewhat of a warrior prodigy, and he's this overpowered legendary sword, and they fight together as a unit, allowing one to cast magic while the other one uses a weapon technique or dodges, allowing for some really unique fights to take place, which is shown in the guild entrance exam as they literally blow the instructor away through a wall. And it wouldn't be right not to flex on the other adventures at all, so they had to knock him down a peg. Or cut their feet off if you prefer that instead, I guess. But you might be saying, hey Wiibz, this sounds pretty typical if you ask me. And yeah, it does, until I mentioned that the show isn't really following the sword. No. It's following Fran. This is her story, because beastmen can evolve by becoming more powerful in this world. In her race, the Black Cats have never once done it before and are known as the weakest race and face a ton of discrimination because of this. And her parents even died trying to prove everyone wrong. So we follow her on her journey to achieve her goal, and the sword is appropriately nicknamed by her teacher, is her master, and is helping her achieve her dreams. And this is where the show really stands out from the rest, I think. And that isn't the only thing that makes this show stand out as better than others. It has great art and animation. You can see all the monsters are really creatively drawn and unique, and the super common ones, even like goblins, can be distinguished from other typical isekais as well, and the new monsters that we get to see are out of the box ideas that have great designs. And I feel most low quality shows don't want to take the time or the effort to show how attacks inflict damage on a person or monster, and the first sign of a good one that actually gives a crap is that they do this. And Reincarnated as a sword does not shy away from this at all, as they literally show decapitations to goblins or how they take people's feet off. And the animation is just so crispy and really good, and on full display during the guild fight or the wyvern fight. Then we haven't met many characters in the show yet, but the characters that we have met, I love. We have Fran, who's this really sweet girl who takes the time to take care of teacher, clean him off after every battle, stuff like that, but can be truly terrifying if you get in her bad side. And she has some really funny moments too, due to her youthful, blissful ignorance and emotionless expressions. Then we have teacher, who's his father, mentor type of figure, just wants to protect, make her dreams come true, typical stuff, but he provides comedic value because he knows he's in an isekai. And then mommy, Nell, who's actually pretty similar to Fran, except she's an adult, so she knows what to expect from adults and has grown to hate them, and I love that. And it adds a different kind of funny to Fran's, and I just love seeing it from her. Plus, I mean, just look at her, guys. Then the icing on the cake that really makes the show work and pop is that it's found this great middle ground of taking itself serious and at the same time acting as a parody. Because at this point in the isekai genre, you either have to have an S-tier story that no one can refute and is accepted as a legendary status, or be able to poke fun at your own work and the genre itself to really make it, or you're just gonna be thrown away with all the other garbo isekai. And Reincarnated the Sword has done this brilliantly while leaning a little more towards the serious side, but I think it has the qualities to make it work in the serious tone. I don't know what direction this show is going to end up taking in the end. It's hinting at this monster war kind of thing coming up soon, and I assume that will be where Fran kind of makes an adventuring name for herself, and the story will be established and an overarching plot will be revealed. Or not, depending if he wants to take this life of life approach. All I know is Fran has to evolve or I'm rioting. She is best girl and doesn't deserve any of this. But if you want a somewhat serious story that's different enough from the usual, but still pretty similar to the basics and pretty crispy animation that can make fun of itself and the genre, I'd check out this anime. But I hope you enjoyed my review of Reincarnated as a Sword. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. It really does help me out. And let me know what you thought about it down below in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.